What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today we are going to be doing another episode of Versus. If you're new to the channel and don't know what Versus is, it's a series where, generally speaking, we look at two weapons, or sometimes other things, compare them, look at the stats, all of that stuff, and then we see at the end of the video which one is better, and it helps you become a better Call of Duty player. Now, today we're going to be doing something we've actually never done before on Versus, and that is look at pistols in Black Ops 3. We've done it back in Advanced Warfare, but now in Black Ops 3 we haven't done it yet. So today we're going to be looking at, my opinion, the two best pistols in the game, the RK5 and the L-CAR 9, both of which one of them is a burst action pistol, the other is a fully automatic pistol. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, you're looking at some gun game, because I had some complaints that I was either showing too much gameplay of the weapon that was going to win, or the gameplay was better for the weapon that was going to win, so I decided just to put it gun game. Now you can see all the weapons play all at once, and you won't know which weapon is going to win till the end of the video. So it's completely spoiler free, enjoy the gun game gameplay, but let's get into talking about these stats and deciding which one of these guns is actually a better weapon. So let me know down in the comment section below which one you prefer right now before we get into the stats, and we'll see at the end of the video if you were actually right. So let's get into the stats. So first things first, with these weapons, both of them have actually different stats when they're dual weld or akimboed, as opposed to when they are not. The main stat that has changed is the fire rate, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit, but as for right now, for the bulk of this video, we are going to be looking at these weapons when they are not akimboed. So, the damage profile for both weapons. The RK5 is 35 damage up close, 29 at short mid-range, 22 at long mid-range, and 19 at extreme long range. This ranges from a 3 to a 6 bullet kill, so an extremely long range. Now this is kind of important though, because this is a 3-round burst pistol. What this means is that with this, you're looking at a 1 burst to a 2 burst kill, because 3 to 6, right? If you use akimboed, you can just fire 1 burst out of both weapons and you're almost guaranteed the kill like 9 times out of 10. That's why having this weapon akimboed is so good. Whereas if we look at the L-CAR 9, we got 30 damage up close, 29 at short mid-range, 22 at long mid-range, and 19 at extreme long range. Now, this is very similar between both weapons, but the RK5 has that extreme short range where it is actually a 3-bullet kill, and the L-CAR 9 does not have that 3-bullet kill at all. So what this means is the RK5 has a better damage profile, therefore starting off this Versus episode with +1 point. So the next thing we're going to look at here is the ranges. Now the ranges are one thing that make these two weapons a lot different, because like I said, the RK5 has that short range that is actually 5 meters where you can get a 3-bullet kill. The L-CAR does not have that. However, the rest of the ranges, so dropping off to a 4 to a 5 bullet kill, the RK5 drops off at 12 meters in game, and the L-CAR drops off at 19. Whereas if we look at it dropping off from a 5 to a 6 bullet kill, the RK5 does it at 19 meters, whereas the L-CAR does it at 25 meters. So every drop-off range is just a little bit better for the L-CAR. And you'll notice this. You'll notice that you'll be getting more hit markers and harder hitting hit markers with the L-CAR at those longer ranges, whereas up close is where the RK5 does really good. So technically the ranges are better for the L-CAR, so it gets 1 point for that. So sticking with the most important stats, next up we're going to look at the fire rate. Now the fire rate for the RK5 is 909 RPM, and it also has this really weird stat where when it's not akimboed, so if you're using a singular RK5, the first 2 bullets fired in a burst fire at the exact same time. So really, when looking at the RK5, it's actually a 2-round burst where the first round that comes out of the weapon deals the damage of 2 bullets. So it's super important to get those first bullets on target, because they're actually going to deal more damage. A very weird stat. If we then go on and look at the L-CAR fires at 722 RPM. So obviously much better than the RK5. That being said, the RK5 has burst delay, so there's a short delay between firing each of the bursts. Now, even in counting for the burst delay, the RK5 still has a fire rate of 775 RPM when accounting for that burst delay. However, without accounting for that burst delay, it's 909 RPM. That's why you'll see when you're super up close to someone and you fire that thing and all 3 bullets hit, that time to kill is so quick, because remember, 3-round burst weapon. On top of that, up close, it is a 3-round kill. So because of that, the RK5 is getting +1 point for having that better fire rate. And trust me, it's a lot better. So this next little part here is a tidbit that I'm going to be adding in but not giving out any points for. First things first, the fire rates when dual weld or akimboed. The RK5 doesn't have that weird stat where the first two bullets join together when akimboed. Why? I don't know. It fires 3 separate bullets when akimboed, and the L-CAR actually has a slower fire rate as well. It goes down about 15 RPM. Why they do that, I don't know. It must be something to do with balance. So both of them have a slower fire rate when akimboed. Also, another really weird stat, the hip spread of both weapons. Normally, singular weapons, it's 3 inches minimum, 5 inches maximum. So exactly the same when each one is a single weapon. However, when they're akimboed, the RK5 has the exact same 3 and 5 inches, but the L-CAR has 4 and 7 inches, so there's much larger hip spread on the L-CAR when akimboed, and that is why you'll notice a lot of people with the RK5s when akimboed do a lot better, because you're always hip firing, and there's a much tighter hip spread with the RK5 than the L-CAR 9. So, just 2 stats to keep in mind when these weapons are akimboed. For some reason, they're changed. I don't know why, but we're not going to give out any points for that. So this is one of these really weird comparisons where a weapon has a better damage profile and on top of that has a better fire rate, a much better fire rate. So in this case, the RK5 has a much better time to kill at every single range. Every single range on the map has a better time to kill. The one thing you will notice though is it is hard to kill people with the RK5 at extremely long range because it has some view kick and the bullets deal low damage and the damage drop off is a little earlier. Even with that, the time to kill is still better on the RK5, therefore giving it plus 1 more point. Next up, we have magazine size, and the magazine size for these two weapons is 15 for the RK5 and 20 for the L-CAR 9. Now, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but it actually is. With both of these weapons, you probably want to be using extended mags and scavenger if you're planning on using them as primary weapons. But we both know these are secondary weapons, so it kind of makes sense for them to have less ammo. It's kind of like a backup plan if your primary weapon fails, or if you're using a sniper when someone gets close to you. The RK5, the 15 round is bad, and here's why. It's a 3-round burst weapon, which means you only get 5 shots out of the weapon, because 15 divided by 3 equals 5, so you can pull that trigger 5 times before you have to reload. The L-CAR 9's 20 rounds is a little bit better because it has a slower fire rate, which means you're going to go through those 20 rounds a little bit slower, which means L-CAR magazine size much better, therefore giving it plus 1 point. Both of these weapons have the exact same reload time of 1.5 seconds when there's still bullets in the magazine and 1.85 seconds when the magazine is empty. So no points can be given out for that. Next up, the aim down sights time. The aim down sights time is actually a little bit interesting because with the aim down sights time, the only weapon that has a worse aim down sights time that is a pistol is the RK5. It has a 0.125 aim down sights time, which is incredibly short compared to most weapons, but for the sidearms, this is the longest time, whereas all the other pistols have just a 0.1 second aim down sights time. So plus 1 point for the L-CAR 9 for that, for having a faster aim down sights time. That actually brings us to a tie, which is a little bit surprising for me, simply because I thought the RK5 would simply outperform the L-CAR 9. Now, there is one stat that is incredibly important, and that is the weapon switch time. Now, this is something I don't normally talk about because normally we're talking about primary weapons, but this time we are not talking about normal primary weapons. We are talking about secondary weapons. So the thing with secondary weapons is the general time you're going to be using them is when you run out of ammo for that primary weapon or have to reload, you have to whip out that pistol as fast as possible and then get the kill with it. And the RK5 actually has a faster switch out time than the L-CAR 9. It has a 0.25 switch out time, and the L-CAR has a 0.3. Now, both of them are the exact same when akimboed, but the RK5 is just the demon in the sack, has the better pullout game, and therefore gets plus 1 point, and actually takes the lead and wins this week's episode of Versus. However, there's one more thing I really need to say about these weapons. When a weapon has a better damage profile and a much better fire rate, therefore having a much better time to kill, that weapon is generally simply just going to be better. No matter how many smaller stats the other weapon have better, unless it has like horrible recoil, like something like the Vesper, the weapon with that super fast time to kill is just going to be the better weapon. And in this case, that is the case if you ask me. The RK5 has this super awesome time to kill, and because of that, that's why I think it's the winner. And it won based on points, even though a lot of the smaller stats are better for the L-CAR. So this week's winner is the RK5, but let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you agree, disagree? What was your prediction? Was your prediction right? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you made it this far in the video, it would be awesome if you could leave a like rating. It really, really does help with the channel. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week, and it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, peace out.